And we are live with the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Kauffman. What's up, brother?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
I cannot wait to dig in. You founded one of the biggest and best Facebook groups on the planet. You're an amazing real estate marketer. I want to get to all that right after this. Or no, maybe not right after this.
I'll do it whatever order you want.
Yeah. Well, no, it was supposed to play my intro and it just decided not to play my intro. And that's because I didn't hit the right button.
Here's the big question.
How are agents like us,
who didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset?
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy,
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the One Big Fire Podcast.
Welcome to the One Big Fire Podcast. What is up, my friend Kevin?
What's up, dude? I'm stoked. I'm glad to be here and excited to do this today.
You have no idea. What's so cool is that I knew you way before you knew me.
That's pretty scary, man. I'm surprised we're still on the video.
Yeah, right. So I was just like, man, these guys are absolute brilliant marketers. I want to hear about, a little bit about just your background and coming up through, I know, one of our competing brokerages, but I mean, you guys just became celebrities on your way up, built next level agents. I want to hear about how and why. And then eventually we got to get to the biggest question is why y'all moved your talents over to eXp Realty. We got to know that, because I know that you guys were not friends of ours at the beginning of all this.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I love sharing that story, that part of it. Yeah. So you tell me where do you want to start, and we'll dive in.
Tell us how you began in real estate and how you guys built that empire to what it was just impressive. I've never seen anyone do it like you guys have done it.
Yeah. So I'm real good with timing. I got licensed in the middle of 2007. So I don't know what it was like for you, but in Arizona, I think the prices were dropping by the hour. I mean, literally market was going backwards. I remember third transaction ever was a short sale. I had friends literally trying to stop me, telling me I should not get my real estate license. But, I'm that type of guy. If you tell me not to do something, it pretty much only guarantees that I'm going to do it. Right. So I'm against the grain type of guy. And so got my license. Third transaction ever was a short sale. My now business partner who I knew, it was actually his listing, but he left the country for his honeymoon. And he was like, by the way, I don't even know if the bank will pay us. Like, I'm not real sure. I'm just trying to help out a friend. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll figure it out. I'd sold 2 houses at that time. I knew what the hell I was doing. And so, at any rate, I'll fast forward early the following year, February 2008, we decide that because now we're kind of both doing short sales in Arizona. At that time, you either have bank owned listings, short sale listings, or you don't have listings, right? Right. And I just am not, my patience level is just not cut out for the buyer side of the business. And so we're both doing short sales and actually both employing his brother as like a part-time administrative assistant for us. And so we just decided to share an office, share some costs. We weren't trying to build a business. We weren't trying to start a partnership. We just wanted to support each other, because calling banks all day long, if you've ever done it, and talking to the frontline people at a bank, it's kind of like, it'll make you want to just throw things against the wall. And there's a few things that got thrown. At any rate,
brutal.
Yeah. So what we did though, and it's kind of probably where you want to take that on the marketing side, is we kind of figured out how, like, almost haphazardly how to go. We went from February, we had 10 listings combined. And again, I'm still not even in the business a year at this point. Fred had been in the business a few years, but was out of it and kind of gotten back in because that business was effectively no longer creating income. And so he went back into real estate, what he knew. And we had 10 or 11 listings combined. And that's, within 3 months, we were 50 listings, 60 listings, and at one point, almost 100 listings that year. So we just kind of went all in. And the way we did that was, number one, we're both hard-headed and stubborn and like to fight. So we figured out short sales. And then people started asking us, like, how did you do that? You're the only person that's ever got my short sale approved, yada, yada, yada. And so Then we started teaching classes, which did nothing more than bring us more referrals, and it just sort of snowballed. And then, you know, we hired a coach, and well, I guess we didn't really hire a coach. We found some mentors, and then you know, we really started to build a business at that point. And then the rest, they say, is history. Like, I could take you through all the iterations of it, our detour as, you know, in leadership and being a regional director for Keller Williams Realty. That's a big mistake. And then also in owning a market center for Keller Williams, which was, while it was profitable, I'm glad that I, you know, no longer own that. And, you know, kind of all the different iterations our team has taken. We sell real estate now, you know, in multiple states. Phoenix is home and is our bread and butter. But now it's September next month. Wow. Next month will be 7 years since we started selling real estate in Denver. We're now about 6.5 years that we've been selling real estate in Nashville, and just over, I think it's either 4 or 5 years we've been selling real estate in San Luis Obispo, California as well. So that's kind of us in a nutshell.
That's impressive, man. And I mean, listen, anyone trying to figure out there, you know, we coach and mentor agents all over the world now, but really mainly in US and Canada. And most agents are scratching their heads trying to figure out how to grow their business in one market, let alone 3 or 4. You guys, Nashville, I mean, and you named the places. They're like some of my favorite places on the planet. You know, where you guys live is just stunningly beautiful. Yeah. Love Nashville, love Denver. Did you guys just pick the cities that you love the best and said, hey, let's expand there?
No, man, it was a little bit of dumb luck. I always like to say we had the unfortunate fortune of Aaron Lebovic came into our life, and we partnered with him in Denver just because he lives in Denver. And I say unfortunate because he was so good that we thought we knew what the hell we were doing, right? Like our first year, we're in Phoenix, our first full year in Denver. He comes over, joins us September 1st, 2014. And in 2015, we sold 105 homes in Denver, while living in Phoenix. And he was so good at that. So that unfortunately made us think we knew what we were doing. We clearly did not, but we learned a lot on the way, right? We got the multiple punches to the mouth that we all get in business, and got to learn those lessons. And so it's been a fun ride.
So Kevin, and I want to get to the next level agents in a minute, but since we're going down, you have one of the biggest expansion teams in the country. You built that through the KW model. I'm sure that it's evolved, you know, to what it is today. It didn't start the way every team evolves, right? What does your model look like today? You know, meaning what's your value proposition if you were to expand to another, and I'm not saying that you want to expand to another market, but you know, if you were to, what makes the Kevin and Fred team? You have a different name to it. I apologize.
It's okay. I won't. It's Group 4610. I won't hold that against you. Yeah.
Yep. 4610, right?
Yep.
Which is biblical meaning, correct?
Not really, but yes. I mean, it's from Isaiah 46:10, but it's from, if you've ever read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I know you have. Coach Bert's in the house, right? You've been around Coach Bert, so I know that you have. And so one of those is begin with the end in mind, or think with the end in mind. That's actually what that comes from. But that's another story how we landed on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So your team model, your expansion team model, what makes you guys stand out?
Well, it's much different today, first of all. And I would say, like, we don't actively try to go out and expand in the traditional or the model that we had while we were at Keller Williams, right? We do still have expansion partners because they've all been part of the family for so long. Like I said, I think the least someone's been with us now in the expansion world is 4 years. So, I mean, just consider that. Like, they're part of the family at this point. That said, we've totally replaced our expansion model and strategy with EXP. So, and I know we're going to kind of dive into the EXP part later, so we can do that. But initially,
let's do it. You know what? We're there now.
Yeah. Let's do it. So here, I mean, the number one question I get, Al, is like, why'd you leave KW for EXP? And people are often surprised to hear that I didn't leave KW for EXP. I was leaving KW. Fred and I had made a decision to leave KW. It was probably April 2017 is when we decided, but we vocalized it in August of 2017 that it was time to actually let's go get on the search and figure out what our next play is, right? And at that time, EXP wasn't on the radar, kind of had heard of it, didn't know here's what I knew, man. I just didn't like some people at the company. That's it. That's what I knew about EXP. And I knew they had this thing called revenue share. That's all I knew. And so paid no mind to it. So we go through this process of trying to figure out where we're going, what's important to us. I mean, we did the whole thing. Like, we spent a couple days with Realty at their headquarters and looked at all of their brands and really liked a lot of what we saw. We, of course, explored the independent route. We explored so many other routes with some regional players. And for us at that time, being in multiple states, we had some real hard caps on what we had to have. We had to have one broker per state or one brokerage, right? Because like with the franchise system, what we're dealing with, we literally were part of different brokerages, which made advertising legally very, very challenging. Tons of contractual and legal obligations. Plus, it just cost a lot more, right? And so we also needed to make sure the agents on our team kept more of the money they were making and had opportunity beyond that. So those things had to happen. In addition to that, the third thing that we realized what we wanted to be left the hell alone. Like, let me have my autonomy and let me have something I can plug into when I want to plug into it, right? And so that really disqualifies most brokerages. The decision we came to is we were going to go independent because we just didn't think we could find everything we were looking for. And then it just was like, and we got to look at like eventually just Curtis Johnson, very dear friend of ours, had in December of 17, like drops the bomb on us. He's like, I'm probably going to go to EXP. You want to go with me? And we're like, Fred literally looked at him and said, hell no. That's the exact quote.
Is this December of 17 or December of 18?
No, December of 17, because Curtis comes over the following month, January of 18, right? And we, at this point, we've eliminated all of our other solutions and we're going, I guess we're going independent, like literally by default. And so we start on that process. Like, we've got brokerages, we got entities formed in 4 different states. We already had brokerages up in 2 of them, and we're kind of preparing our exit from KW, right? Because we've just so fallen on, it's just no longer home for us. And in that process of going independent, one day I literally said, guys, what the hell are we doing? Like, what are we doing? This is not what we want. We never wanted this independent bro. Why are we going through this? And so we kind of took pause and said, okay, what are we doing? So talk to my coach, and he's like, you don't have to leave KW, right? You just want to leave KW. You could just hang out for a little while longer while you figure out what you're going to do. So that's probably like February of 18. Curtis has already left. And we're just kind of course, we've known Curtis since 2008. We love the guy. We hope but we have no idea how it's going for him, right? And so we just get together for lunch because it's time to get together for lunch, because we do that with Curtis. We had spent a lot of time together over the years. And we just sat down one day for the first May 2nd, 2018. Sat down for lunch with an open mind about EXP Realty. And I could see the happiness. My friend Curtis Johnson had literally reversed aged 15 years, bro. Like, if you go look at a picture of Curtis December of 17 or even January of 17, or sorry, January of 18 versus now, he literally looks younger and lighter. And I don't just mean like he weighs less. He might weigh less. I don't know. But he looks lighter today than he did then 3.5 years ago. And so that stood out. Yeah, he is by a mile, right? And dude, he was happy. This was the beginning. He was so happy. And that stood out to me.
Before you continue, and let's pause on the happiness factor right there. Just to put some things in context for people that are going to watch this, the quote heard around the world on your pod, I don't know if it was your podcast or I think it was definitely on Next Level Agents, was that I'll go to EXP Realty over my dead body. Now, I don't know if that was you, but it might have been Fred.
That's definitely Fred. Yeah.
That was your partner's words. We're like, over my dead body. So, and I loved it when you came. So you're sitting with Cujo. That's Curtis Johnson. For anyone who don't know Cujo, we call him Cujo. He's just a badass marketer, just a great human being.
Yeah, he is.
Overall. You're sitting there. You see him happy that you've ever seen him. And go from there?
Yeah. So he kind of starts. So for the first time, we've got an open mind, right? Because obviously anybody says I'm over my dead body or hell no, like that's not an open mind. And so what we realized is like, he's loving it. And I can see that. And then he's kind of explaining it to us and we're like, oh. And so sort of serendipitously, Al, that same day, a mutual friend that Glenn Sanford and I have said to me, I know you're still not happy at KW. I know what you're concerned about with EXP. Glenn's a friend. Why don't you call him? I think if you expressed your concerns to him and hear him out, you'd probably be pretty happy with the fact that you at least listened to him. So I did. I called him later that day. Bro, I was sold that day.
Amazing.
I was in that day because for the first time I saw it. And it probably took Fred another week because I remember we were all excited about it. We come back and we tell our director of operations, who's obviously a much slower, more methodical thinker than we are. And we're like, we're going to Curtis's office next week. He's going to just kind of show us a little more behind the scenes and take a look at this. We need you to come tell us if we're being crazy. Okay. And he's like, okay. And I'm telling you, man, like I think mentally I made the decision that day. Yeah. The next day when we went, a couple days later, we go to Curtis's office. I think Fred made his decision that day. And because it was sort of like, dude, we just saw it. The light bulb came on for us as you know, once you see it, right, you cannot unsee it. And we saw it that day for the first time. And so, what I've learned through the years is the reason I couldn't see it before is it was 100% psychological. It had nothing to do, like the model didn't actually change. Nothing changed, but the way I was willing to view myself and the way I was willing to just be very pragmatic about it and go, okay, I'm going to be open about this. I realized, I'm like, holy shit, this was built for us. Like this was literally, it's like they thought of me when they built this. Right. And so once I saw that, after over a year of searching, we made a decision and then made a move in like 5 weeks. We'd have made it sooner, except that guy I mentioned earlier, Aaron Lebovic, happened to be out of the country for that entire month. Had he not been out of that country, we would have moved within weeks. But instead it took us 5 weeks, and hands down, without a doubt, with not even a close second, best business decision I've ever made in my life. Not even close.
I'm with you, my friend. I say that all the time. And I'm blessed to call you a partner. I was super stoked when it came across my desk that you guys were coming over. So excited. Since then, we've been part of the same mastermind groups with Shep Black and I just love growing with you guys. You're not only brilliant marketers, but you're just fun guys to hang with. And we're having lots of fun. Just like Uncle Gene always says, EXP is about making real estate fun again. And that, people that hear that from the outside, they might be thinking, oh, wow, these guys are drinking the Kool-Aid. No, man. I probably have an IV dripping right through my vein. Okay. Because it's not even about, you talk to, how many times have you heard a story where, you actually get the founder of the company, Glenn Sanford, on, who, by the way, is not a salesman. He's a tech genius and an entrepreneur and a big thinker and just is constantly innovating for this company because he loves this agent so much. But he didn't go on and sell you on anything because he's not a salesman, right?
Fact.
But he cast that vision, and he is not this maverick like you and I are. He's just that pragmatic thinker that you can trust. That's the guy. You bet on the jockey, not the horse, right? Well, The cool thing with us is we got the jockey, we got the horse, and they're all thoroughbred winners. And I'm just blessed to be in business with you. Speaking of Coach Burt, I got my call with him in about 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
So kind of just in wrapping up, obviously you're going on it'll be 4 years and what, like 6 months for you?
No, we just hit 3 years in June. And
Okay.
So we're technically, we're in the beginning part of our 4th year, freaking loving it. And again, like every day, here it is. The decision today, I feel more strongly about it today than I did 3 years ago, more than I did 2 years ago, more than I did a year ago. Like
So
it just keeps getting deeper.
when you guys came over at first, you came over for some reasons. It probably the math made sense. The model with your expansion made sense. After 3 years, what would the number one thing that you'd point at right now for agents watching this? They could have a team, maybe they have an independent brokerage, and then let's let everyone know how they can reach out to you and find you. But what would you say now after 3 years of experience in this ride?
First of all,
the number one thing now?
I mean, I think the one thing I would say is options. Like this isn't a real estate. It's almost like more of a lifestyle company when you think about it, because we're not pigeonholed into doing things a certain way. And what the model does, what it's created is options. And so because of those options, you can create income and wealth multiple different ways. You can reimagine your sales team. You can reimagine your expansion team like we did, and actually make a whole lot more money just because of the way the things are laid out. Like, I mean, it's hard to even, there's no way I could even put that into a minute or two, man. Like it is, the number one thing is options and future. The reality is you owe it to yourself. There's a reason why billionaires own real estate companies, because it's a vehicle for building wealth, and EXP can either be a big part of it, a small part of it, or a giant part of it. The cool thing is 100% of that choice is yours and yours alone. And so looking back at it, yeah, it's a better model for selling real estate. Just with my real estate agent hat on, it's a better model than any franchise system ever, because it's one company. I won't even get into that on this, but then the other opportunities on top of that can't be touched, man. Cannot be touched.
You're hearing from the man who's ran, owned franchises, owned regions in those franchises, or at least ran them. Been through a massive success curve with previous, and you're hearing from him today that this platform is the best to build a business on. And it's the only platform I'm aware of that if you didn't get a chance to buy a franchise, if you didn't get a chance to get in early with some of these other companies, you're able to not just build someone else's sellable asset, but build your sellable asset, so that one day, maybe at the end of the career, instead of us visiting you at the funeral home for your retirement party, you could actually have a real retirement party and actually retire. And this platform's given us the ability to do this. And I appreciate your time, my friend. It's always great seeing you. I'm going to see you in Dallas in a little bit. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and reach you. If you got questions, especially if you're somebody expansion, this is the guy to talk to.
I would love to do that. Yeah, best ways, probably Facebook or Instagram, just Kevin Kauffman, Kauffman. You mentioned for our Facebook group is called Next Level Agents, or we also have a podcast on real estate that's called, it's really originally named called The Kevin and Fred Show. Just reach out anyway. Love to connect and help you. Again, because I'll add this in. We're still selling a whole lot of real estate. We'll do another 300 plus transactions, 125 million or so again this year. So it's not like we stopped selling real estate. We still sell real estate, and we're having more fun because of all the other things that are coming with it, and the impact is just bigger. So please reach out. Let me know how I can help you. Yeah, man. Love it. So Kevin and Fred Show on the podcast. Go to Next Level Agents. How many agents is that up to now? Probably 26,000, something like that. Holy Moses. That's amazing. Congratulations on your success. Thank you for your time, my friend. I'll see you in Dallas, and I'll see you at the Topper from the Top, everybody. Thanks for joining us.